What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Welcome to episode 60 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast about two brothers who are former WWE employees that enjoy wrestling and video games. And we're two brothers again. For the first time in like a month.
Yes. It's about time.
DMurph is back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
After a month of weddings and vacation.
Weddings and vacation and giant mice and my son being scared to death of Chewbacca.
Giant mice.
Yeah.
Your son was scared of Chewbacca too? Like,
yeah.
Like
he went up.
I get it, giant mice. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, he went up and hugged Chewbacca and then instantly realized what he was hugging and freaked the hell out.
But Chewie's kind, and he'll only rip your arms off if you piss him off.
That's what I tried telling him, but he didn't want to hear
it. I am one of your hosts, Murpho. I'm joined by as mentioned before, the returning DMurph.
Hi.
And we are back to cover one of the big ones. One of the big four is happening this weekend, and there's also in addition to being one of the big four, there's also the fourth edition of a certain NXT show happening this weekend as well. We are predicting NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 and SummerSlam 2018. Now, it's a big show and a big weekend. Both cards are large. Like, it's large for an NXT show, and it's massive for a SummerSlam.
Yep.
So we're going to pretty much stick to wrestling this week. If you came for the video games, appreciate you. Thank you for the listen. But there will not be any video games this week. We will have it again next week. This week is going to be all about the wrestling.
But if you want, you could follow me on Twitter, and you could see me tweeting about how much I've been enjoying No Man's Sky.
You really have been.
Oh, it's so good.
I've been taking whatever limited time I can and just playing Madden 19 solos because it's fun.
Yeah, I mean this week. Well, by this week I mean a little bit yesterday and a little bit today. I've been playing Overwatch because I've got the whole summer games starting and everything. So I'm like, I'll give that a try, but I'm definitely going back to No Man's Sky after this.
Don't blame me.
So good.
Anyway, I would like to say hi to footballers Jay Walt and Big Stupid in the chat. It's DMurph Bros. It says Big Stupid, which is topical because in addition to your return this week, Dean Ambrose also came back this week on Raw to even the odds.
And just like him, I am totally jacked now.
Yeah, your head's not practically shaved though. You've got the Ambrose-esque hair.
I'm gonna have an appointment on Tuesday to fix that.
I mean, you did get a little bronzed though.
Yes, I did.
You got some nice color. I look like Sheamus compared to you.
Yeah, that's usually been the case though.
And Sheamus, unfortunately, not on the card for SmackDown.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Which is unfortunate, but we're gonna get into all of that eventually. We're going to start off with predictions. I just realized I need a writing utensil. I have the cards in the Discord server, which, by the way, if you join the Murpho Discord server, which you can find in the channel page on Twitch, video description on YouTube, or in the show notes, you will be able to go to join my Discord server and get on the Super Grapple Bros viewer predictions channel there and be able to make predictions against us and see how you do against us and other viewers. You get a shout out on the review show if you beat us or if you beat everybody else who are viewers.
Yep.
So cards are on there. So we're going to read the cards off of my post in the Discord server. And then I'm going to jot them all down right here so we actually have a record of it all. So we're going to start off with NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. By the way, I'm surprised that you don't have this over your shoulder since you're defending it.
The last couple of times that we've done these prediction shows and I've gone to do it, you've been like, "Hey, stop it.
No, it's when we do the review and we haven't determined who's won yet.
No, you've also done it once or twice.
Yeah, well, I'm being nice to you.
Well, thank you.
To remind everybody we just did, okay? Okay, Big Stupid, back off. All right, he's still not longest reigning yet. I think you're getting close though, because I think you've had it since Fastlane. So that's like
whatever was the last thing before.
You've had it since late February, I think, and now it's August. You're gonna stretch out your shirt like that.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is something that I did that no one else has done. It's like a nice little
tie. Not my wardrobe. Anyway, yeah, you're going on about 6 months. I think I had it for about 6 months as well.
Something like that.
I think I won it at SummerSlam last year, I think. So there's a chance that you might actually take longest reigning from me if you win this. So I got to make sure I...
Well, that's what happens when you accidentally take the Brock Lesnar approach because they don't want to do pay-per-views as often anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you are the Lesnar to my CM Punk when it comes to title reigns right now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you didn't even show up for the last month. You just showed up when it was time to defend your title, just like Brock Lesnar.
Hey, just like Brock Lesnar, I'm going out on the indies defending this thing.
Oh, good Lord. All right, so NXT Brooklyn 4, TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Champions advantage is, tie goes to you if you win. That's how our predictions go, and you also pick first as the champ. That way you cannot just pick everything I pick and then just automatically defend.
Yep.
So the first match that we're going to get your take on, and we haven't heard you give your opinion on these matches for a while, so feel free to talk in length if you wish.
Okay.
The first match we've got is Velveteen Dream versus EC3.
It'll be good.
Thank you for that amazing input. So I did not get a name though, so I still gotta wait for you to at least give me a name.
EC Dream.
That is both people. You cannot do that.
All right. I haven't seen much of this, but knowing how NXT and WWE usually books these things and how these matches usually go and everything, I'm guessing it's probably going to be EC3 going over Velveteen Dream. Partially because of the fact that Velveteen Dream can, as he's proven several times, lose a match and at least double his fan base with any loss he gets. And with EC3, I'm guessing he's a guy they want to build up to either challenge for the North American Championship or the actual NXT Championship.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go with EC3 as well. I feel like Dream can take the loss because he's so over, and they're trying to build up EC3, and he hasn't had a strong singles win yet since his debut.
I see Velveteen in the same kind of category with NXT that I would put other superstars such as Tyler Breeze and Ty Dillinger, and until
don't say that because he'll go to the main roster and then he'll do nothing.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was going to point out
You're
is
gonna jinx him.
Up until he actually won the title, also your Andrade Cien Almas, where he's the kind of guy who goes in and he's so good that even though he loses matches, he puts on a hell of a show. Shows that while he's losing these matches, he's that close to winning, and the fans love him.
Yeah.
So I see him in that same kind of category because that's how it was with Tyler Breeze. That's how it was with Ty Dillinger. That's how it was with all these guys.
Speaking of Tyler Breeze, and I don't want to get off topic too much. I don't know if you've paid attention, but it seems like they're trying to finally. It seems like they're finally taking him out of the doghouse, and they're finally maybe trying to give him some sort of push.
Yeah,
because he had a promo trying to volunteer himself for Seth Rollins, and I haven't seen him really do much, it seems, with Fandango the last couple weeks. And he had a singles match last week against, I can't remember who, but he actually put on a good showing in a losing effort.
Well, the reason he hasn't been doing much with Fandango
is Fandango hurt?
Yeah, he's injured. He, I think, tore his ACL or something like that.
Yikes, that'll be a while.
Yeah, I think they said 6 months or 6 to 8 months or something like that.
Yikes.
I know when it initially happened, I found out because I checked Twitter, and Fandango recently had recently tweeted, see you guys in 6 to ? Months. So
yeah, it's normally a 6 to 8 month recovery for minimum for an ACL tear or any of those major muscles and by your knee.
Yeah.
Just want to say hi, by the way, to Hugo Gonçalves and Chelsea, who came into the chat. And also, Big Super says, where's Mrs. Baby Bjorn when you need it with regards to how you had the championship? I thought that was interesting to add in there.
There you
go. So yeah, we're both in agreement that EC3 needs to win, that he's going to beat Dream, and that Velveteen Dream really doesn't need the win at this moment.
Yeah, and he'll easily bounce back from this.
Yeah. Next match we've got is the NXT Tag Title match, which is Undisputed Era, the team of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven.
In which I'm going to say quickly that is going to be a hell of a match, especially if you've watched their last 2 matches.
I know we've got Cole versus Ricochet and Gargano Ciampa again, but this could steal the show.
Oh yeah, easily. This could easily steal the show. I mean, it stole the show at the the UK title tournament day 2. I mean, them beating Mustache Mountain beating Undisputed Era was easily the biggest moment of the show.
Yeah,
it was an amazing match, great moment. I loved every second of it. But I am going to say that I think Undisputed Era is going to retain in this match.
I'll let you get to your reasoning before I say anything.
Reason why is because I think something else is going to happen a little later on in the night, and they're going to need to have some kind of titles on them. Plus, I think
so you think
Bobby
Ricochet
Fish
is going to beat Adam Cole then? Okay.
I think Bobby Fish might be ready to come back soon as well, so he might also aid in allowing them to retain. And on top of that,
do you think that Roddy's going to turn and cost Adam Cole the NA Championship or something? Okay.
No. But I also think that Mustache Mountain, I don't think they're going to win the tag titles because of the fact that they're just about to start the NXT UK brand, and the Mustache Mountain and Pete Dunne, their whole goal with WWE with joining is to start up and basically run the UK brand themselves. They have plans to go and do everything in WWE, but they said their first goal is to get the UK established in WWE with their own brand, to get all the other young talent in the UK to get their faces on WWE TV. Yeah. So I think they're going to lose this match. They've already held the titles once, and then they're going to go on to the UK brand, and they're going to be a huge part of the tag team division there. Yeah. Especially since you don't have much there right now.
I agree with you for the most part. I do believe that Undisputed Era is going to win because I believe that Mustache Mountain, they're going to go off to and be Seven and Bate are both going to go off and play huge roles in NXT UK. However, I think it's not just going to be because of a regular match. I think they're going to start a rivalry between Bate and Seven to start off as one of the hot storylines to kick off and make the start of NXT UK a must watch. I don't know if it's going to be Bate or Seven, but one of them is going to turn on the other at the end of the match, allow Undisputed Era to retain. Mustache Mountain's going to be broken up, and one of the big storylines going into NXT UK is going to be Seven versus Bate.
I could see that, but at the same time, I really hope they don't do that.
I love them together, but I also think they'll have a great rivalry, especially because not only are they tag champions, but it's also mentor versus student.
True, but what I'm hoping for is for them to go to NXT UK and join up with Pete Dunne and actually do British strong style in WWE.
Yeah, but I think that's also kind of why they did that at the NXT UK Championships. That way they could at least say that they did it once.
Yeah, true.
And it's not to say that they won't. That maybe that when they finally go up to the main roster, that all this gets sorted out and they go up together as a group.
True.
Before we move on, I just want to touch on some stuff in the chat real quick. Big Stupid said that Breeze's match was against Baron Corbin, and the Fandango actually has a torn labrum. You Gonsalves likes the shirt which you got me as a birthday present.
You're
the Kenny Omega shirt,
along with that pop right up there.
Yep, the Kenny Omega pop that finally came in.
Yep.
And Chelsea says that she thinks Mustache Mountain's going to win the tag titles.
I would not complain about them winning. I just don't think it's going to happen.
And Footballer says Roddy is too good in Undisputed Era to turn. I agree with that for now. I honestly, you know what? I'll wait until we talk about the North American title match because I'll talk more about what I think is going to happen with Undisputed Era when we get to that.
Can I just say one thing about this quickly, though? The idea of Roddy turning on Undisputed Era.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the way the storyline's been going, I think if anything like that's going to happen, I don't think it's going to be Roddy turning on Undisputed Era. I think it's going to be something happening with Roddy causing them to lose the tag titles and then kicking him out of Undisputed Era. Because they tried to get him to join and he fought them like crazy, and then he just, as soon as he saw a chance to hold a title, turned and joined them and wasn't an original member. So that's why I'm saying I could see if there's anything like that that's going to happen, I could see it more of him being kicked out than him attacking them.
Maybe. I've got another idea, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we talk about the other match. But we're going to not go to the North American Championship match yet. Instead, we're going to go to the NXT Women's title match. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. Their rematch. so to say, from the Mae Young Classic, even though it's technically the third match because I think they had a match against each other on a regular NXT.
I don't think
Because
they had
I think
a
was making that a
one-on-one.
point. I think Baszler made that a point.
No,
in
they
one of their
did. That's
contract
right.
signings.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Baszler retaining.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's time for her to lose the title yet. I think, if anything, she'll probably lose it, if she does lose it, at Evolution.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, also, if you think about it, their first match, it was to determine the finals of the Mae Young Classic. Huge end of the tournament and everything, would give whoever wins a title shot, got a trophy and all that. And Kairi Sane came out with that. I think it evens it up if in this match for the title, it goes to Shayna.
So you love that 50-50 booking then, eh?
I think it makes sense in this situation, especially, like I said, Shayna's been a beast. And I think that if anyone's going to take it off of her, it's either going to be someone from the Mae Young Classic's second round, or more, what I think is more likely, I think it's going to be Candice LeRae that ends up taking the title off her.
Could be.
Personal thoughts.
I'm surprised. I was unsure because, like, there are some people who are saying that Shayna might drop the title and then debut the next night on SummerSlam and maybe help Ronda win her title or help her or cost her championship.
That's possible. Although I don't know if they'll do that necessarily, just because of the fact that Jessamine Duke and Marina Schaefer are the other two members of the Four Horsewomen, I believe.
They're training right now.
Not only that, I heard that they were both going to be in the second Mae Young Classic.
I know that people are thinking that they may try to do horsewomen versus horsewomen for Survivor Series or WrestleMania this year, and that's back on the table now that all four of them are under contract.
It wouldn't surprise you, but like I said, I think they're going to do that, and I think they're going to have, if anything, Shayna and Ronda in support of them at the tournament.
But yeah, I agree with you. I was kind of hoping you were going to pick Kairi Sane, but like I feel like I can't have any confidence in Kairi Sane to win. I feel like Baszler is going to hold on to it. Like, Baszler is just too good. Sane doesn't have... I feel like Sane doesn't have that kind of, like... that momentum that she had after the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, they kind of didn't... I mean, the issue with that, though, is the fact that the reason for that is she won the Mae Young Classic. She had all this momentum going into it. And then it was, like, 1 or 2 months before they had her in another match.
Yeah.
And then in that match, she didn't even win. And then it just dragged, and they didn't really do much with her. That's the issue.
Yeah. All right, so North American title match. Hold on, actually, real quick, Chelsea put something in. The two. She says we need to distinguish the two groups of four horsewomen. It confuses me. There's you can just say the MMA four horsewomen and then the WWE four horsewomen. I mean, they're all WWE four horsewomen, but for the sake of differentiating them,
I believe the way they had been doing it on TV in general and stuff is the four horsewomen and then the four horsewomen of wrestling, because that ones from MMA like Shayna and them, they were given the title four horsewomen first.
Yeah. All right, so North American NXT North American title match is next. Adam Cole versus Ricochet. And
you're
going with Ricochet?
I love Adam Cole, but I feel like this is Ricochet's match to win.
Now, why do you think Ricochet is going to win it?
He's been on fire since he showed up in NXT. They did what they needed to with Adam Cole, with how he was saying that until he won that title, going on saying that he is an uncrowned champion in NXT. And he's listed all of his accomplishments. He's done pretty much everything. I see Ricochet winning, them doing a rematch, maybe at a TakeOver, maybe not. And then I see someone like EC3 or The Dream or someone like that
Lars
going
Sullivan.
after, maybe Lars Sullivan, going after Ricochet after he takes the title off of Adam Cole. But part of the reason I'm saying this is because I've thought since they announced the 6-man match, I had it in my head of, okay, Adam Cole's probably going to win this, and then if anyone's going to take the title off of Adam Cole, it's probably going to be Ricochet, and he's going to hold the title for a while, he's going to lose it, and then they're going to bring him up to 205 Live. Because that's been the plan in general, is having Ricochet go to 205 Live.
Maybe. I'm actually going to go against you, though.
Oh.
And I'm going to say that Adam Cole's actually going to retain. And this is why. I think he's going to get the help of Undisputed Era. I think they're going to play the numbers game. Maybe O'Reilly, and it looks to me, I feel like Bobby Fish is ready. I think he's medically cleared to come back, and I think what's going to happen is that O'Reilly and Roddy are going to try and make the save, but not going to be able to do it. And then Bobby Fish is going to come out from nowhere and cost Ricochet the title. And Adam Cole will retain. Undisputed Era will still be able to keep all their championships, still look dominant. And then Ricochet, because it happened under nefarious purposes, will be able to get a rematch at the next NXT takeover to keep things going. Where I think in the rematch, NXT will actually take the championship from Adam Cole, baby.
Okay.
So I think it's almost too soon to take the title off of Adam Cole, because I feel like when you take the title off of Adam Cole, you then immediately put him in the NXT tag title spot, and I don't think this Gargano and Ciampa thing is ending at SummerSlam. So I feel like because either Gargano wins and this thing isn't over, or Ciampa wins and it's over, but you need a face to go up against him. And Adam Cole, though he's celebrated and cheered, is not your traditional face.
Yeah.
So I feel like this Gargano Ciampa thing is not quite over yet. You don't have a face to go up against whoever wins, or a heel to go up against whoever wins. Because Ciampa won't let it go if Gargano wins. So you can't put Adam Cole in that spot. So I feel like you got to keep the title on Adam Cole for a little bit longer. You can have it be a screwy finish to let Ricochet continue to be able to chase. And then my idea is that with Undisputed Era is that, yeah, you're going to keep them all together. But now that Bobby Fish is back, there's going to be some tension starting to brew between who's going to team with O'Reilly. Is it going to be Roddy or Fish? And then Roddy's going to end up maybe being the odd man out. And then maybe Adam Cole goes and then does win the NXT title, and Roddy feels like he's being held back. And you show maybe like Adam Cole like almost being condescending towards Roddy and like treating him like a lapdog, like he's lesser of all the four members. And eventually like it allows the crowd to build sympathy for Roddy until finally Roddy snaps, flips out, turns on all of them, and goes after the championship for Adam Cole. And then you get basically Adam Cole versus Roddy Strong to see who is best out of Undisputed Era.
You know what my one problem with that idea is, though?
What's that?
How long has Roddy already been in NXT for?
But you see,
because if they go with that, then he stays even longer than all of Undisputed Era.
And I think that's fine, because you've got because look at how long Gargano and Ciampa have been in NXT.
I know, and I think they're going soon.
And they were in there for like a good year or two before Roddy was in there.
Yeah.
I think Roddy is good for another year and a half. And you can play this story out. This can be the next big main event storyline after Gargano Ciampa that you play out. It could play out at WrestleMania. It could go until SummerSlam next year, or you have it go a full year until WrestleMania of next year. And then I think Roddy's good to go up. I think Adam Cole, I think pretty much all four members of Undisputed Era at that point are all clear to go up.
Well, that's part of why I think that he might lose, is because of the fact that you get the title on someone else. He does have the title. You set up for him to have a rematch at the next TakeOver or something. You have what I think is going to end up happening. You have Undisputed Era lose the tag titles to War Raiders, and then they do the same thing they did with people like Andrade. No rematch for the tag titles, just straight up to the main roster with all of them right after.
I don't know. I feel like once that storyline's done, you could maybe have somebody like a Lars Sullivan, or maybe an EC3 or somebody else who's coming, who is like really snapped, just shows up and takes the title off of that person, almost whoever wins that rivalry almost immediately.
True.
Just to show them as like a dominant heel or face or monster.
True. What does that say in the chat there?
Yeah, we're gonna check the chat. Chelsea thinks that Ricochet is gonna win. He earned her respect during the ladder match. Big Stupid on Baszler and Kairi Sane says, well, that was because they used Sane to debut Baszler when she showed up and choked her out, which is why she lost her momentum, which, yeah, makes sense. Big Stupid said Ricochet is injury. His injuries,
not hurt, but he's not.
He's injured. He's not hurt, but he's not 100%. Okay. Yeah, I know that. I've heard about that, but he's fine. I think he's fine. I'm sure he's worked through just as bad, if not worse.
Not to mention others have done the same thing.
And Footballer says that Adam Cole, baby, is one of his favorite wrestlers.
Oh, I love Adam Cole, but I could also see Adam Cole losing now.
Yeah. Big Stupid says he sees New Day versus Undisputed Era at Survivor Series this year. I don't think so. That's way too soon.
Yeah, not that soon.
Not this soon. Like I said, Undisputed Era, they've got a good thing going, And
I think they might.
They need
go
to get that
up
NXT
around Survivor Series the
Yeah.
earliest.
And Adam Cole is like a Triple H groomed pet project.
Oh yeah,
And
Triple
all
H
of Triple H's groomed pet projects, they get that big belt in NXT before they go up. So they're gonna be there a while. Yeah. So now we're on to the final NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 match. The main event, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a last man standing match for the NXT Championship.
Now, with the way this whole thing has been going, I honestly don't know.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, basically. Because I could easily see it being where Johnny Gargano finally beats Tommaso Ciampa, gets the NXT title. Maybe they feud a little bit longer over it, but Gargano finally gets it and holds on to it and proves that he's better than Tommaso Ciampa. I could also see something happening that causes Ciampa to win and have Gargano just completely melt down and turn into a monster heel.
He could.
Just viciously attacking pretty much anyone.
He could.
I could see either happening.
Mm-hmm. I think what you do is with the Aleister Black injury now. Well, actually, first I need to hear your prediction. Who are you going to go with? I already know who I'm going to go with. I want to know who you're going to go with.
The more I think about it, here's how I'll say it. I have a gut feeling that I should go with Ciampa, but I'm going to go with Gargano because thinking about it,
I was really hoping you were going to go
with
with
Ciampa. If you have Gargano lose, and then, what face are you going to have go after Ciampa? As opposed to if Gargano wins, you've got more heels than faces that could actually go after Gargano.
I have Gargano winning, but this is why. Because I've been saying this for months. The slow burn double turn is coming. And Aleister Black's injury provides another perfect method for it. What you do is Johnny, after this huge war, wins the match, celebrates like it's the biggest thing in the world, and say Candice comes out to celebrate, and he celebrates with her, but almost kind of ignores her, and is almost like so in love with the championship that he won. Then we come out, and it turns out that Ciampa comes out and says that he was right about the whole thing, that he's been ignoring Candice, and that he has an inside source and maybe an extra angle of the attack on Aleister Black, and you find out that it was Johnny Gargano who attacked and injured Aleister Black, and that he was so obsessed with Ciampa and winning the NXT Championship that he couldn't let anything get in the way, and he saw Aleister Black as an obstacle. And basically Gargano's obsession with Ciampa with the NXT Championship is going to turn him into like a nut job and a full-blown heel, and basically prove everything that Tommaso's been saying to be right. So that way Ciampa gets to stay in character, but he's telling the truth, which makes him a face. And Gargano becomes the obsessed a-hole who cares about nothing but the championship.
Yeah,
you flip their characters basically, and then this rivalry's got new legs, and you can go into a final contest with the two of them.
There you go. The one issue I have with it though is they will have main evented how many takeovers in a row now?
I don't care. They can if they keep doing the matches they can keep going. Get into a couple things. Overrated versus overdone. I know I'm probably the only one who says it, but you're so over this feud and how everybody just falls themselves up about these guys. Big Stupid, they're good. Like, when something's this good, you keep going to it. Like, I'm sorry, but their matches have been amazing, and their characters have been evolving. And like, yeah, I feel like it's starting to get a little old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's why I feel like you pull the double turn, especially with Blackout. And nobody will take the title off of either of them at the moment. You go ahead and you do the double turn. It gives it new legs. It allows Candice to get more face times that way. And again, say we do like what happens, what you're recommending happens, and Candice does win the NXT Women's Championship against Shayna. And you're thinking, oh, that's great. The married couple are champions. But what if Gargano just doesn't give a crap? Just doesn't care and is just obsessed with the championship.
Yeah, it would also be another good storyline if Candice throws in the towel, causes Johnny to lose, and then she wins the championship. And then all this has been about him trying to win the championship for so long, and now he's not a champion. but his wife, who cost him the title, is. And just seeing how he burns down.
But I don't see how
There's
you
so
throw
many
it.
great alternatives that they could do.
I mean,
this is what I'm saying.
I guess I don't see how you throw in the towel unless like Johnny refuses to stay down for a 10 count, and she just throws in the towel while he's about to stand up, like barely able to keep himself together.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like minute 49 of this match, and Candice throws the towel. But anyway, it'll be a good match.
Yeah. Chelsea says, hold up. I thought Aleister Black was going to put in for a rematch. What's up with this? Aleister Black got hurt during a house show. And it was like an actual real injury, so they had to write him out of the match, and so they did the whole he got attacked and injured backstage angle by somebody. Which Big Stupid said. Or Aleister, and Big Stupid said, or Aleister Black just shows up and gives a black mask kick to the guy that cost him the belt, Gargano. Maybe. But I doubt it, considering that that Black's injury, I believe, is like a groin or leg injury, which he needs to hit the black mask kick.
I was going to say, I think it would be absolutely hilarious if it was some kind of arm injury, and you just see Aleister Black in his usual black suit when he's not wrestling, just black suit, arm in a black sling, just come in the ring, kick him in the face, and just leave.
Or just walk back over to the edge of the side of the ring and just sit down like nothing happened. And she'll say, you never know, to Big Stupid, maybe he gets put in the rematch with either Ciampa or Gargano. I mean, I'm sure Black's going to get a championship match as soon as he comes back. So
either that, or depending on how long he's out, he may just show up on WWE.
That too. Okay, so that's NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Just to go over it all, we only disagreed on one match.
As usual.
Yeah. You had EC. We both had EC3 over Velveteen Dream. We both had Undisputed Era defending against Mustache Mountain, though for different reasons. We both had Shayna Baszler retaining over Kairi Sane. I have Adam Cole retaining, and you have Ricochet taking the North American Championship away from Ricochet, and we both have Johnny Gargano taking the title off of Ciampa, though for different reasons.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna move on to the main event of the weekend, which is SummerSlam 2018, and good. Sweet Christ, are there a lot of matches on this?
And we're going to start off with what is possibly one of the matches I'm most excited for. This is one thing that bothers me, is probably the two matches that I'm most excited for. Well, two of the matches I'm most excited for SummerSlam are on the kickoff show. Yeah. And it bothers me a little bit.
WWE just doesn't care about what you care about.
Yeah, obviously.
So, we're starting off the kickoff show with the Raw Tag Team title match of the B Team versus the Revival. I think I know who you're picking. Wild guess.
I'm going to go.
And don't even joke about the B Team first, because I will put your initial down there.
No, I was actually going to joke about the Deleter of Worlds, because they're not even in the match, so you can't put it down.
Well, did you hear what happened to Matt Hardy this week?
Did he get injured?
He got injured, and it seems like what they discovered is that his hips and lower back are fusing together. And so he needs to take major time off, and he may be forced to retire.
That sucks.
So he's out indefinitely to see if he can heal himself up to be able to wrestle again. But they are easing him into a producer role in case he can't wrestle.
Well,
so that he can become a producer.
Hey, at least he got one last run with the Woken gimmick in WWE.
Yeah, I wish they could have done more, and I hope they do more if he's okay. But by the way, before we get too much into SummerSlam, I do want to mention, because we didn't mention at the top, we would like to dedicate this episode to the memory of Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Very, very upset about his passing.
Yeah. There's our thoughts and prayers and sympathies, empathies, whatever you want to call it, go out to the whole Hart family, especially Natalya Neidhart. So, so we're going to start now with SummerSlam. Revival versus B Team, Raw Tag Team title match. Go ahead and say it. The biggest Revival mark in the world. I know you want to say it.
Come on, Revival. I'm going for the Revival. I really think, especially with what I was saying before, I was saying you have the BT win. You have it kind of be like they're on a lucky streak and everything. And then you have some team like the Revival come in and are just like, we don't need luck. We just need our fists, and beat them for it. And then go for a decently length tag title reign defending against other people. Because, I mean, honestly, ever since WrestleMania, the Raw Tag Team division has been floundering. And I think, I love the B Team, but I think if you want to try and revive this division, you need to put the titles on the Revival. At least in this situation.
I mean, the B team's been good for the division, though. They've been good.
They've been good, but you think about it. They have this one match with the Revival. The Revival wins. They get a rematch. That's another match.
I really, really want to pick against you and pick the B team to retain, but like, I feel like this is finally the Revival's moment.
Exactly.
I think this is when you have to put the championships on the Revival. The B team, they were great. They had their run. They were able to defend, I think, the titles once against the Leaders of Worlds, if I remember correctly.
They did that, and this last week they did a triple threat match against both the Leaders of World and the Revival.
So I think they lose. They become the underdogs against the Revival, and you could probably get a really great
story going out
of this. So, yeah, I don't want to, because I'll never hear the end of it from you, but I think I got to go with the Revival as well.
All right.
Next up,
I'm not going to yell at anyone for choosing the Revival. They're a great tag team. There's a reason they were the first ever, and I believe still only ever, 2-time NXT tag champions.
I think Authors of Pain are 2-time tag champs. Or, no, Undisputed Era are.
Undisputed Era are now, yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there's a reason for it. They were, like you said, they were pets of Triple H and NXT. So.
Next up on the pre-show is going to be Rusev and Lana versus Andrade, Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega in a mixed tag team match.
I have to go with Andrade and Zelina Vega.
I hate you.
They're building them up. They're both really good in the ring. Hopefully, Zelina makes Lana look really good, because Zelina is really good in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's a good booking. It's going to be a good match. It's basically Rusev versus Andrade and also Zelina versus Lana in one match. And I think it's going to be a good match. I think they're going to put Andrade over, and maybe he'll start building towards like a U.S. title match or something.
Happy Rusev Day, by the way.
Happy Rusev Day.
I agree with you. I hate that you're picking everybody that I'm picking. I think you give Almas the win, but you protect Rusev and Lana. You have Aiden English come out and cost him the match.
Yeah.
Deliberately this time, whereas he's been costing him by accident.
Yeah.
He's sick of getting yelled at for screwing up, so now he's going to cost him the match deliberately.
And then maybe we get a good rivalry between Rusev and Aiden English.
If by good rivalry you mean it lasts maybe a week or two and Rusev just destroys Aiden English, then yes.
No. I said hopefully, not realistically. I said hopefully we get a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then the final pre-show match is going to be the Cruiserweight Championship match of Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak.
I have to go with Drew Gulak in this. They've been building him up for a long time. He has not had a singles loss for months and months. I can't remember the last time I've seen him lose a singles match. The only time he's lost a match at all is a 6-man match of him, Brian Kendrick, and Jack Gallagher against Lucha House Party, and he went and defeated each member of the Lucha House Party in singles competition by himself. They've been building him for months. He's the best heel that 205 Live's got right now, and I feel like they've just been building for this moment of Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander for the title, for Drew Gulak to take it off of him, since they decided to do the Cruiserweight title tournament.
This one is really hard and difficult for me to decide because all signs point to Gulak winning, but that makes me think Alexander's actually going to retain. They've been playing up the numbers game the entire month, and 205 Live ended with Gulak choking out Alexander, the numbers game getting to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go up against conventional wisdom and say that maybe Alexander survives by the skin of his teeth, beats out the numbers game, and we eventually get some sort of rematch where Gulak eventually wins. And it seems like all signs, and I'm just doing it almost like a contrarian thing, because all signs are pointing to Gulak winning, but I feel like Alexander is going to retain just
I could have said that.
Because they've been building it and telegraphing it so much.
Can I point out one thing to you, though?
What's that?
One of the main reasons I really think Gulak is going to win is because recently they've been building up the numbers game somewhat, but for months they've been building up Gulak. Yeah, so a good amount of the time he's been with Kendrick and Gallagher, but they weren't interfering in the matches and stuff, and they were showing that he's able to do these things on his own in the ring, building him up.
Yeah, but the last 2 weeks at 205 Live, they've been interfering post-match on Alexander.
Okay. But how many of those matches have been Cedric
2 or 3
Alexander
weeks.
versus Drew Gulak. They've been doing it to weaken him up for the event.
Yeah,
but
they
Gulak
might...
can get it done by himself.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to throw that out there, and that's part of why I'm choosing Gulak.
We're also... I have to try and actually to pick
I
against
understand.
you also, and I need to... And I'm a coin flip right here. It could go either way, but the fact that they've been building up the numbers game and how it's insurmountable odds against Cedric, and they had Gulak choke out Cedric to end the go home 205 Live makes me think they're gonna go against that and have Cedric overcome the odds
I'm just
and win the
trying
title.
to give you an insight into why I'm thinking this.
I'm not going to feel bad if Gulak wins. I feel like this could go either way and I'd be fine, but I think I'm gonna go with Cedric.
Yeah,
on this
I
one.
can understand that.
Next.
And
go ahead.
I mean, if Cedric wins, great. If Gulak wins, great. I'd prefer Drew to win because Cedric's held the title for a while. He's defended it a good amount of times. He cemented his legacy. He could always get the title back. Gulak has been building for this for a while, and he deserves to hold the title for at least a little while.
Mm-hmm. And then the first match that we're going to discuss on the main show is a show that had some amazing vignettes on SmackDown this week. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Good job. You hit the mic. We got to check now and make sure that the microphone's actually still working. Good.
Yep. No
Still
problem.
Working.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. This thing just gets so heavy sometimes.
You just knock it off. So yeah, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, the grudge match. What you got?
I got D-Bry.
Okay. Why?
I mean, they've been building up for this for a while. There's been a good amount of the time when Daniel Bryan wasn't able to wrestle, it was Miz rubbing it in Daniel Bryan's face, saying that he's a quitter and stuff. And I think it's a matter of this is when Daniel Bryan finally gets to get one over on The Miz. I don't think it's going to end the rivalry at all, and I think this is going to just get worse from here. But I think this is where Daniel Bryan gets a big win. Maybe Miz gets some kind of championship and then is able to hold that over Daniel Bryan.
I think there's going to be a screwy finish involving Maurice and potentially like a fake baby again. I think The Miz is going to win.
Okay.
And the other reason why is that Daniel Bryan, all signs point to that he's going to sign his contract, but it hasn't been announced officially yet. So WWE can protect themselves. He goes out on his back as he should. They can build up The Miz, who is definitely going to stick around. And if he does sign, you do a screwy finish. That way Daniel Bryan can eventually get his revenge.
So what you're saying is main event of All In is going to be Daniel Bryan coming out and challenging Cody Rhodes, who just wins the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, for that title in that event. And it's a surprise out of nowhere main event.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying that Bryan officially has not yet signed his contract with WWE.
Okay.
So if it is not signed yet, the safe bet for WWE is to give Miz the win, the star who's sticking around, and then if Daniel does sign, they can continue the rivalry, and Bryan goes over and wins the feud, the rivalry in the end.
All right.
So that's my pick. That's my pick, and that's mostly just backstage politics stuff. Also, I think they have the Miz win because everybody wants Daniel Bryan to win. Everybody wants to see Daniel Bryan win. So if Miz wins, it's gonna piss everyone off and make them want to see Bryan beat the crap out of Miz even more. And then imagine Miz and his heel character being able to rub that into the universe's face and rub that into Daniel Bryan's face for another month.
I just realized something. Can I change my pick?
You're gonna change it to the Miz, aren't you?
Because of the fact that
You already made your pick, though.
all right, that's
Did
why
I
I was
convince
asking.
you otherwise?
No, it's just with you talking, I realized they could have the Miz win, and it promotes Miz and Mrs.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And then you build up for a rematch between them, bring it to a boiling point, maybe have a title involved, and have Daniel Bryan beat the Miz at Survivor Series around the time when the new WWE game comes out, in which Daniel Bryan is the showcase mode for that game.
Maybe. I don't know.
If you don't want me to, that's fine. I'll stick with it.
Have I ever been changed my predictions after we've talked? All right, fine. Then I'll give it to you. I'll give you just this one. I thought I was actually going to get one right that we had a different prediction on, and
if you don't want to let me, that's fine. I mean, I let you change some in the past, not big ones.
You've let me change them in the past, if I remember. So we might do predictions for All In footballers. We'll think about it. All right, so now we both have Miz. You jerk.
Sorry.
You jerk face with your face of a jerk. Next up, we have Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin.
Finn Balor.
Okay, why?
Because Constable Corbin is doing his own thing, does not need the win. And it's just an intermediary match to keep it going, and that's going to keep the fans happy and watching and everything. And I mean, I think they're gonna eventually set up for Finn Balor versus some title holder at some point, and you just have Balor string a good amount of wins together in pay-per-views to prove that point. Constable Corbin, his whole thing is he's working for Stephanie McMahon. He could take a loss and then take out his vengeance another way as he has before.
That's true. But Finn won the last match against them.
That's true.
And via a roll-up. Like, not clean.
That's true as well.
So the thing is, does Balor then go over clean on Corbin and Corbin takes back-to-back losses? Or does Corbin win? And then you maybe keep things going for another month, or Corbin wins, and then you move them both on to different things.
It's possible.
I think because I want to keep things different from you and I want us to have some variation, I'm going to go with Corbin for the sheer reason that Balor won by the skin of his teeth last time. Corbin, you could say in his constable role that, yeah, he's got a safe position on the card, but also he hasn't really done much and he's looked like a joke in that position since. Maybe that's a point of the character, but there was a point in time where Baron Corbin was actually an intimidating person. I think a victory over Finn Balor, who can afford it since he already won a match in this rivalry, could use. I feel like he kind of needs the match almost for.
Yeah, but I mean, part of the reason why I'm also saying that Balor will win is because of the fact that Constable Corbin could be pissed off and be like, you know what, Finn, tonight you're going to face Braun Strowman in a one-on-one match. By the way, tonight, the main event of Raw, it's going to be me versus insert name here for the Intercontinental Championship. Not that I think they'd actually do that, but he has the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, you've got Balor. I've got Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea also pointed out the fact that Finn has a 2-0 record at SummerSlam so far.
True.
But we'll see if that holds up. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy, the United States Championship match, transitioning over to SmackDown Live. Who you got?
Shinsuke.
And why?
Because of the fact that they've been building up a rivalry between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy already had a decent title run with the United States Championship, so you could have Shinsuke hold the title, defend it against other people, and you've still got a direction to go with Jeff Hardy and one of your other biggest stars on the brand.
I agree that Shinsuke wins, but I think Randy might flip out on both of them. So that way he can get involved in the United States Championship thing. Because I don't know who would step in for the U.S. title after this, unless you want to put Shelton Benjamin in there. And Shelton really hasn't had much momentum. He actually just lost a match to Jeff Hardy.
I mean, I'm trying to think of people on SmackDown because it's been so long since I've watched. But I mean, you got people like Ty Dillinger. You've got people like Andrade. Bobby Roode's still there, right? Or is he over on Raw?
Bobby Roode's on Raw.
Damn.
And Andrade is a heel.
Yeah.
So heel versus heel would not work unless you wanted to put Rusev in there and make Rusev versus Nakamura for the U.S. title your next U.S. Championship rivalry.
I don't know, but I just think that they do that because, I mean, they could always find there's got to be someone on the card that could go up against Shinsuke.
Maybe.
And who knows? It may be Randy Orton causing Jeff Hardy to lose, and then Randy Orton steps up to take the number one contender spot, and that continues Randy and Jeff's rivalry in a weird way.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Next up, triple threat match: Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. Who you got?
What was it again?
Sorry. Carmella versus Becky versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship.
I am gonna go with Becky Lynch.
All right. Interesting pick. Why do you got Becky?
Because of the fact that she hasn't held the title for a while. They've been building her up a little bit. It was supposed to be a one-on-one match between her and Carmella, which I feel like if that was the case, then Carmella would win. But I feel like this gives them a chance to do something where, like, Becky gets the pin on Charlotte or something like that, causes a little bit of a thing between Becky and Charlotte, allows Carmella to say that she never actually lost the title, continue the story from there. Carmella's gotten to hold the title for a little while, and I feel like it's just. I think it's a little bit of a time for a title change with the SmackDown Women's Division, especially to someone like Becky Lynch, who a lot of people have been saying should get the title for a while now.
I would want to see Becky win, and I do agree that Carmella's had the title too long, but I think Carmella's winning.
I think she could easily win too.
My pick is Carmella because I think Becky and Charlotte are basically going to be almost having a pissing contest with each other during the entire match, and that arrogance towards one another and discrediting Carmella is going to cost them both the championship, and Carmella is going to win.
It's quite possible.
And my theory for that is that eventually they're going to be forced to team up because they're going to announce a women's tag division for Evolution, and there's going to be some sort of tournament or something, and they've already said things towards Sasha Banks and Bayley. And I think what you're going to do is for Evolution is you have Becky and Charlotte, who have to find a way after this interaction over the championship to coexist against Sasha and Bayley to be crowned the first NXT women's tag team champions, or WWE women's tag team champions. Yeah. And I think you can slot Asuka right back into the Carmella spot and finally give Asuka the push that she deserves by beating Asuka at Evolution for the SmackDown.
Carmella?
Yeah, Carmella. Asuka beating Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Evolution. So that's my prediction. I think Becky and Charlotte basically cost each other a chance at the championship. Carmella sneaks away. They're forced to tag with each other at Evolution, and then Carmella goes up against
I can see that.
Asuka.
I think I'm going to stick with Becky, though.
Okay.
I just got this weird feeling about it.
No, I can see any of these three winning, but this is just my little theory that I'm going to pick.
Yeah. Understandable.
Again, it's a contrarian pick because everybody thinks Becky or Charlotte's going to take the title off Carmella, so I feel like it's a good contrarian pick, and I can see the storyline reasonings for it and where they can go from here with that decision.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Intercontinental Championship match at Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre in his corner against a Mr. Seth Rollins with the returning Dino Ambrosio in his corner. And your pick?
I think I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
Ooh. I hate you. What do you think is going to happen?
I think Seth Rollins is going to beat Dolph Ziggler, have a rematch against Dolph Ziggler. Maybe they'll do some match somewhere where it's Seth and Dean versus Dolph and Drew. And then when they're done with that stuff, Seth will go back to his open challenges. And the first open challenge will be Dean Ambrose attacking Seth Rollins from behind in the ring with him, saying that he's accepting the challenge and winning the title off of him, and then having a rivalry against each other for the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay. I'm going with Rollins as well. Because a lot of people are thinking Ambrose is going to turn on Rollins and cost him the title. But I think Rollins is going to win, and Ambrose is going to attack Rollins immediately after the match, after he wins. You get Ambrose versus Rollins immediately for the IC title. And then you've got maybe Drew, and maybe Drew didn't do everything he needed to with Ziggler. See, here's the interesting twist where I come in. Where you could do it just straight up Seth versus Dean, or Ziggler gets pissed off at Drew for costing the title, but Ziggler still wants a shot at the championship, wants to use his rematch clause, but McIntyre gets pissed off at Ziggler for blaming him. McIntyre turns on Ziggler. Fatal 4-way match, IC title.
There you go.
Ziggler, McIntyre, Ambrose, Rollins.
I can see that, yeah.
So
sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Rollins is going to win. Ambrose is going to turn on him. Ziggler's going to blame McIntyre, enact his rematch clause. McIntyre's going to get involved. Therefore, he's thrown into the match as well.
All right, there you go.
So good way to wrap it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say, because Chelsea says she doesn't hope that Ambrose turns on Rollins, I will say part of me wants to be wrong because I don't know. Did you see Ambrose's return? Holy hell, did the crowd pop for him?
Yeah.
I almost don't want to see him turn like that because the crowd was so hot for him.
That's why I think when he turns, it's gonna be after a little while.
It might. We'll see.
Because also part of the reason I want to see that is because, especially with his new look, I think Ambrose could be a monster of a heel on Raw.
Yeah. Yeah, he could.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank contract / briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
There are actually people who believe that Owens might pull off the upset and win the briefcase here.
Well, I thought I heard somewhere that they made it where if Braun Strowman loses in
By
any
means.
way.
Yeah. Count out disqualification any way he loses the briefcase.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman, though.
Okay.
I think that Kevin Owens is going to put on a good match. There's going to be things like Strowman getting back into the ring from the outside at the count of 9. Owens doing like the classic Eddie Guerrero trying to get Strowman disqualified. I think it's going to be
trying to antagonize him like Christian did with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Except he won't succeed.
Yeah, and just doing all this stuff, and it'll be a good match, better than their last match, but I think Strowman's still going to pull it out the win, and I think that he might win the Universal title later that night.
Okay. Some people are thinking that Owens might win, shock everybody, and then cash in that night and win the title off of Reigns after he's been just through the ringer with Lesnar.
Oh, I believe
and they shoot Owens up the moon. I can see that happening. I think Braun's going to win. I don't know, because I feel like I don't think Braun's going to cash in because I think everybody thinks Braun's going to cash in. But then if Reigns wins, who does he go up against with Lesnar gone? Like, it almost has to be Strowman. But if Strowman has the briefcase,
he could go up against the man he has yet to beat.
Who?
Finn Balor.
Maybe.
He's had, 2-3 matches with Finn Balor, 1-on-1, and he's lost all of them?
Maybe.
Could be a fellow Shield member.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we're both wrong. And, what's his name? Ziggler beats Rollins. You could then do Rollins versus Reigns because, hey, last time we went 1-on-1,
or Rollins
I beat you
and
for the title.
Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns.
Yeah.
But I feel like I want to see that Shield triple threat for the title at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This is tough because I feel like Braun Strowman that they needs to win, but they put in that little caveat where anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna just point out, as a lot of people said, they have that in there of anything if they lose by any way that they'll lose the title. I've seen stuff like that happen in matches in the past, and the person still win anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Strowman could do it, but also to say, Owens' character has just been getting assassinated this entire rivalry, and Strowman could lose this match by DQ, lose the briefcase, and then immediately the next night on Raw have a rematch for Owen against Owens, or be in a multi-man to determine who the number one contender is going to be against Reigns, and then just wins it.
True.
So, you know what? When I went into this, I was thinking Strowman, but because you picked Strowman, I think I'm going to go with Kevin Owens.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be almost like a Christian Randy Orton type thing where Owens does something that gets Strowman disqualified.
Can I say this? Owens, because of that.
But I don't think Owens cashes in that night.
I was going to say Owens is too injured to cash in that night because of that. Braun Strowman, because of the number one contender, beats Reigns. And then because of the hell he went through in that match, Owens cashes in on Strowman and beats him for the Universal title.
That'd be hilarious. All right. So we're chugging right along. How many more we got left? We got 3? We've got 5 matches left. Jesus Christ. All right. Next match is the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day.
New Day.
And reasoning?
I just think that this whole thing with the Bludgeon Brothers holding the tag titles has not done what they wanted to do. It's at SummerSlam. Everyone loves the New Day. Everyone's been waiting for the New Day to get another match for the tag titles and get a chance to hold them. I think the New Day is going to do this.
I agree with you. I think New Day has remained, and I love these guys to death. They're just that good and that driven. They remain one of the top acts after being together for 3, 4, 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bludgeon Brothers project, it was a nice attempt, but they were better as Harper and Rowan. It hasn't worked out.
And they were better as Luke Harper, Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm. And so I think you got to put it on New Day. And Bludgeon Brothers needs to get something revamped. And And yeah, I think New Day wins the titles, and then
Yeah.
maybe you get Sanity Sanity or the Bar to challenge them for the tag titles after that.
Yeah.
I think you got to give it to New Day.
Maybe even the Usos.
Maybe.
Yeah. And everyone loved that.
If we want to do New Day and Usos all over again.
Yeah.
Which I mean, they can probably wrestle forever, and I wouldn't get tired of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it's pretty short and sweet. I think the Bludgeon Brothers need to lose the titles. The experiment with them as champions hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
And the New Day are as hot as ever.
Although I will say, I am happy with the fact that Luke Harper has another title reign under his belt.
Yes, I do agree with that. Okay, so after that, we've got we're gonna go to the WWE Championship match: AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe.
I think we're gonna differ on this.
Really?
Because I am gonna go with AJ Styles.
We are gonna differ on this. Why do you think AJ is gonna win?
I think there's gonna be enough title changes on the show. I feel like this is the kind of thing where they'll have a hell of a match, and it'll be so good. AJ could win. Joe could attack AJ after the match. It could extend to the next pay-per-view, and Joe take it off him at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. See, based on your predictions, that makes sense. On my predictions, I don't have a lot of changes happening at this point. I think I have 2 out of the 5 titles changing hands at this point. So I have Joe winning because I feel like Joe has killed it for the last year, despite being out with an injury for a while. And he has killed it in this rivalry, and somebody has to take the title off of AJ because AJ has had it for so long. I love AJ.
He is now
he could hold it he could keep holding it. I'd be happy.
He's now the longest reigning WWE champion on SmackDown.
Yes,
like in the history of SmackDown, passing JBL and everything.
Oh, really?
Yep. JBL made a tweet about that recently.
Nice. But I feel like it's time. It's finally time to put that strap on Joe, and I feel like. I think you could also get Styles' wife involved somehow. Maybe have her ringside or something. She gets involved somehow. And you just have a defeated AJ Styles and Samoa Joe like just cutting that promo the next SmackDown would just be gold. And then you could have AJ beaten and broken, but somehow being able to piece himself back together and fight back for the championship that he lost.
You see, I could easily see them doing what they should have done with AJ and Shinsuke, which is Joe loses, attacks AJ after the match, they get a rematch with a stipulation involved, and Joe then beats AJ and then retains and holds on to the title for a little while.
Okay. I see Joe winning this championship right here in a shocker, and then Joe actually wins the rivalry at the end.
Yeah. And it's a thing of
championship. I think this is a long reign for Joe.
Of all these matches on the card for titles and everything, this is a main match that I could see where it's a matter of, yeah, the champion can retain and they can still keep this title feud going and people will still eat it up.
Yeah. All right. And then we got, I don't know if people can hear the thunder, but there's a severe thunderstorm going through right now. Next up, so we'll try to get through this quick, is Alexa, be quiet, Echo, versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship.
I think it's going to be Ronda that wins this match.
Okay. And why is that?
Just the way they've been building her, the way they've been building this storyline. I think she's going to win, whether it's her winning the title or her winning by disqualification or countout or something like that. I think they give Ronda the win in this match.
Okay.
And it'll also be very nice to see something of them being able to do photo ops of Ronda with the Raw Women's title and Shayna with the NXT Women's Championship.
Could. I think Alexa's going to win.
I could see it too.
I think the numbers game with if Mickey shows up and Alicia will show up, and then you know what I think is going to happen?
Natty.
I think Natty's showing up and costing Ronda the title. And I think she's going to cut a promo the next night because I don't know if you noticed, but Ronda cut a promo on Raw and she talked about and wished her sympathies and condolences about the Anvil and to Natty. And I think Natty's going to come out and be like, how dare you speak my father's name when I'm not around? Something like that. Almost as if she's like just emotionally distraught and aggravated and just was always planning to turn on her the whole time.
It's quite possible.
And then we can get the story for Ronda for Evolution is that she has to battle her way through Natalya to get back to Alexa. Like battle through Natty, and then in order to earn a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. And Natty could also say, like, she has yet to hold the Raw Women's Championship. She has a SmackDown Women's Championship, but she did it because she thought Ronda was being disrespectful, not treating her the way that she should as a true friend, and that she wants the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Ronda beats Natty to get back to Alexa and basically has to go through a gauntlet to get there and gets crowned in Evolution. And I think that's how you end Evolution, with Ronda Rousey winning the NXT Women's Championship or the Raw Women's Championship.
I can see that too. Like I said, I could also see it where like Ronda wins by disqualification because of Natty.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going with Ronda. Same reason why I went with her her versus Nia Jax. I thought that she would win by DQ.
You're actually probably right, because do you want Ronda to get pinned yet or submitted? But then again, do you want to keep that mystique, or do you want to just get that done and over with, so that way you don't have to worry about when are we going to end it?
True.
So yeah, I'll go with Alexa to win because of Natty.
There you go. All right, let's get to it. This last quick one.
So, big stupid Murpho got that from me. I think I did get that from her. Chelsea thinks that that Ronda wins and then gets challenged by Nia Jax at the end. So we'll see. On to the final match. Lesnar versus Reigns. There are rumors that Lesnar is going to have last-minute contract talks before SummerSlam in Brooklyn.
I believe it. But I hope that those involve him staying with WWE not as Universal Champion, and that Roman beats Brock, and we could just be done with this whole Brock Lesnar being champion and defending it roughly once every 100 days when there's a 30-day rule.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. You've got to finally pull the goddamn trigger on Roman. End this. Let him win. Let Brock go off, do his UFC thing, and then if he signs another contract and wants to come back, have him have a WrestleMania rematch with Kurt Angle. You've already sowed the seeds for that.
Yeah.
I talked about that while you were gone. And that way, Roman has a title. Universal title is back on Raw every single week, and we can get to some awesome rivalries with Roman and the heels on Raw.
Can I just say there's one thing I hope doesn't happen if Roman does win the Universal title finally?
What?
I hope he doesn't show up on Monday like this. Because if you haven't noticed, the last few titles that he's held, the United States title, I believe with the WWE title, the Intercontinental title, he's always slung it over his shoulder with it draping across his back like that. And I can't tell you how many people I've seen, like veterans in the business, being like, yeah, I know that you're trying to do something new, but that's kind of disrespectful because you're kind of carrying it around as if you don't care about the damn thing.
I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. Well, whatever.
I just also don't like the look of it. Like, it's cool for the one poster he did. But
it works for his character, I think, and it's something different. It's something nobody else has done, but I can understand where they're going with it. So, is that everything? Do you think you think Braun's going to cash into afterwards and end the night with the title, or no?
I don't know.
You have Braun winning that match.
I could see him doing it that night. I could see him doing it just some other night. I could see him doing it at the next pay-per-view or something. It all depends on the match that he has with Owens.
Yeah. What is up to leadership in the chat? That is going to do it for all the predictions, though. We did not differ much on TakeOver, but we have 6 different predictions on SummerSlam. So hold on to your butts, guys. This might be an interesting one. I think this is the most we've differed on matches in a long time. So this could be very up in the air, or it could be a blowout one way or the other.
Yeah, it's possible.
Stupid says, can I sell you on Lesnar winning the show up on Raw? To gloat, gets beat down, gets cashed in on. That's a good one. That could work.
I would say yes, but they tried convincing Bret Hart to do that, and he said no, and then we had the Montreal screw job.
Yeah. Well, who knows? If they sign a contract for Lesnar for one more day,
we'll have the Brooklyn screw job.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for all of our predictions. Do we want to go over some news and risk potential lightning strike cutting out power and cutting the podcast short?
Nah, we could always save it for next week, I guess.
Okay, yeah, there was stuff that happened this week in news, a couple of things, but we'll save it for next week, guys. If it wasn't raining really hard and we can like hear the pouring rain on the roof and the thunder going off, we don't want this to get cut off via lightning strike power outage. So we are going to actually end the podcast here with the predictions. May the best person win. We're not going. Doesn't look like we're going to be doing a live stream reaction to SummerSlam, unfortunately. That's because Casa de DMurph is watching over a couple extra little ones, so it will be chaos if we tried to stream.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if you want to see us there but not be able to hear us because there's going to be 5 kids screaming, that we could try that, but I don't think it's going to work.
So yeah, unfortunately, no live reaction, guys. But hopefully, maybe we'll do it for Survivor Series. Maybe we'll do it for Evolution since it's the first of.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, there's stuff we wanted to get into, like the Meltzer stuff that happened this week. I also just realized I kind of wanted to talk about Renee being on Raw for the first time.
Good on you, Renee.
And I think there was 1 or 2 other things we were thinking about talking about.
Billy Gunn got announced for All In.
Like stuff like that. But like we got to get going because the weather's not cooperating with us, unfortunately. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been episode 60 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. You can listen to us or watch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/all_Murpho. You can watch it back in VOD also on the Twitch channel. Do not forget that you can also watch us on VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReal. Do not forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Catch us in audio form by searching Super Grapple Bros on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and lots of other places where podcasts can be found.
Rate, review, and subscribe.
Yeah, that's always your thing. So I know you're getting the rust off, but your ratings and reviews really help us out, allow people to find us and search for us, especially on Apple Podcasts. Do not forget about the Discord server. You can give us any feedback, questions, concerns, trivia in the appropriate channel for that. There's also, like we said, channel for viewer predictions. Get your viewer predictions in before the first bell of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, and you can have a chance to get your name shouted out if you have the most viewer predictions correct and if you beat either one of us. That is on the Discord server. You can also email us any questions, concerns, topics at supergrapplebros@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at L_Murpho.
DMurph_42.
And there we let you guys know whenever we go live. I also like to let people know when we go live on the Discord server as well. So be sure to check us out all those places there. And that'll do it for episode 60 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. Before we go out, I believe you got something you got to share for us.
Yes, this week's kayfabe headline of the week.
Episodes.
There are
some weeks where we don't.
That's true. So this episode's kayfabe news article of the week is Ambrose's mom insisted Barbara at Supercuts would do a nice job.
I think she did. She did, though. I liked it.
A lot of people were messing around about that.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this episode. Peace. Deuces the deucey deuce.
Bye.
Laters. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.